Hello, hello, and welcome to On the Porch with Dr. Jackie. So glad that you are joining us. Glad that you are joining in. Glad that you are a part of. Come on in. Come on, come right on in and be a part of the conversation. Bring your favorite sip of tea, your favorite lemonade, whatever it is, and join me live on today's edition of On the Porch with Dr. Jackie, where people connect and cross transformational thresholds. So glad to see you. And as you're coming in, if you would put a one if this is your first time. Put a one in the chat if this is your first time seeing me or being a part of this broadcast. I'm so glad that you're here. And I want to also say invite, share, like, and engage. Okay? Invite, share, and like. And I need you to engage. So this is going to be a conversation, like on the porch. So some of you have already thought, okay, we're a few seconds into this, and who is she? All right, so I'm glad you asked. I'm Dr. Jackie Maxwell, and I'm a leadership and a transformational coach. And I'm the founder and the CEO of Jack Lavelle Coaching and Consulting Group. And I've spent many years helping individuals conquer challenges and overcome obstacles in a way that allows them to really experience their true destinies. So that's a little bit about who I am and what I do. And I'm gonna at some point I'll make sure that you have the website, the information, so you can go straight to my website at jacklavelle.com, and I'll show that to you shortly. But I want us to get busy, to get rolling. So why on the porch? Why on the porch? So we live in a culture that's really craving the power of community. Think about it for a second. Craving the power of community. We've kind of gotten away from the porch, the side porch, the front porch, the back porch, but we have a community, a culture that's craving the power of community. So the front porch, if you think about it, or if you've read about it, is really where community was created. And so we're crossing thresholds through connection and through collective wisdom on this broadcast. And on the porch, I just want you to get ready. Get ready because you're going to step on a welcome mat. But the welcome mat was created to enlighten, engage, and empower. Okay. So let me tell you about we have two guests, and I'm going to tell you about the guests. And so then you're going to understand about enlighten, engage, and empower. Okay? Say that. Enlighten, engage, and empower. Oh, I heard you. Uh-huh. All right. Sounds good. Well, our, we have two guests. Our first guest will be Mr. Eugene Porter. And, with an unyielding spirit and a passion for telling his story, Eugene Porter has captivated audiences on many, many levels. And his journey has gone from adversity to triumph. Nothing short of miraculous. You're going to hear that word again, miraculous. And he uses his experiences to empower others. There we go. Enlighten, engage, and empower. So whether through his newly released book or whether it's through thought-provoking speeches, yeah, he's a motivational speaker, or heartfelt felt personal interactions. Eugene's message is clear, it's resilient, and it's full of hope. And it's transforming. I think I need to add that because when you put all of those together, resilience, hope, and clarity, it has the power of transforming lives. So on the porch, as Eugene's words resonate, and they will resonate deeply, it will encourage you to embrace the struggles that and turn them into victories. It will help you to embrace struggles and turn and shift them into victories. I told you I had another guest. So my other guest on this evening is Miss Natasha Williams. Now, Natasha is has been on the program before. She has been on my Navigating Grief and Loss, and so you might remember her or recognize her. But in this capacity, she is coming to us as the owner and founder of Execute the Vision, Ghostwriting and Publishing. And she is all about supporting others to turn their vision into manifestation, to turn their vision into manifestation. In other words, making it real, keeping it real, seeing it real. Hear how she has partnered with Mr. Eugene Porter. I want you to listen out because there's some key points that they're going to bring out, and the role that she has played in keeping it real and miraculously helping this to unfold. All right. So first out, I'm bringing our guest, Mr. Gene Porter, to the stage, and then I'm bringing Miss Natasha Williams to the stage. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. Doing excellent. Doing excellent. It's so great to see you. And I believe we have persons who are joining us on tonight because they heard all about both of you being a part of tonight's conversation. And so we're so glad. And if you are if you are joining us for the first time, put a one in the comment section. But if you've been a part of this conversation in the past, put a two. So I'm looking forward to you to either put a one or a two. I'm looking forward to that. But we are happy to have Mr. Gene Porter and Miss Natasha Williams. So let's get started. There are a couple of things as I read your bios and as I heard about the books, and we're going to talk about the book in a second. Some different questions have come up for me, and I wanted to ask you, Gene. Your journey has been a powerful testament to resilience,
Mm-hmm.
to inner, what I call inner strength. If you would, and this is really important, share with the audience how you found that continuing to move through, even when the moments are dark, even times when you felt that you were abandoned or left, or even when you thought, God must don't like me, or he don't see me, or he don't love me. What was the turning point? And you have
Um,
a little bit, but share enough because we want to hear that. What
the
was the turning point for you when the journey seemed really dark, when it seemed like it was really getting difficult?
the turning point for me was one of the big turning points was one of my mentors and my boxing coach. He gave me a word, and it was, "It's not what they call you, is what you answer to." And when he spoke that into me about my fears of what was going on, what was about to happen in my life, the
Mm-hmm.
next stages of my life, and he said something. He asked me what my name was, and I said my nickname, which is Smokey. And he was like, "No, what's your real name?" And I said Eugene. He said, "If I call you Jeff, are you gonna answer to it?" And I said no. And he said, "Well, it's not about what they call you; it's about what you answer to."
Mm.
So that was a real voila moment for me,
Mm-hmm.
that I
Mm-hmm.
carry that with me no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was a turning point for me.
Okay, good. So, and the next question, you're going to have to talk a little bit about where you've been, but more importantly, where you're going.
Mm.
And what,
So,
and the question really is about having to redefine yourself beyond the labels, because that's what I just heard you say. You were saying,
mm-hmm.
so what are you answering to? So
So,
it's really about redefining yourself beyond those labels. So what steps have you taken to reshape your identity?
oh, I've put, I've learned that progress is a process. That's one of the things that I have done. Like you said, the whole back side of my story is from 17 to 36, I was incarcerated for a crime I didn't commit. So I was in prison. I grew up in prison. Um, and sitting there in that place, knowing that you didn't do something. One of the things I used to tell my counselors that, you know what I'm saying, there's no waking up on the wrong side of the bed because there's only one side to get out on in the bunk. So that's where I had to take away and know that it's not what they call you is what you answer to. Because my fear upon my reentry to society was that I was going to be called a murderer. I wasn't going to get a job. I wasn't going to be successful because I had this label that was going to be attached to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right, wrong, or indifferent, people don't want to hear about that once you get out. All they want to know is that you were incarcerated. So that was my fear, and my focus became of being something more than what they were going to call me.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. That's good. If someone has a question or can relate to something that's being spoken about labels, put it in the comment section. Put it in the comments section if you can speak about something concerning labels, because some labels are placed upon us and we receive them,
Mm-hmm.
but then there's some labels we place on ourselves.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where we get caught up in those misspoken impossibilities. I hear Natasha, I hear you over there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
If you would, share a little bit about this connection that you've made with Gene, especially in the writing that you've done.
Well, how I connected with Mr. Porter, one of the ladies that was a part of my ministry a while back, I had a ministry called Wives on Assignment based on my first book, and she reached out to me and was like, I know somebody that he needs to write a book, and I told him about you. So that's how I connected with Mr. Porter. But the process and the journey of writing this book right here, I'm like, I've written so many books of, my books myself and then other people's book, but this one right here, it was something different for me. And the first thing I did was I researched him before I even started writing the book. I researched his story and, in the news and the courthouse and the documents and stuff. And I was like, there's no way in the world that this boy got convicted because of the evidence. So I always tell him, I was like, this book right here, during the process of writing the book, I wrote the book based off his interviews. So I listened to his interviews and I wrote the book based off what I heard. Mm-hmm. So the thing about it, it was so many emotions, writing this book, I was laughing, I was crying. I was like, whoa, just so many emotions in this book. But like I would tell him, this is a book that everyone needs to read, because this goes on in the world more than it should and more than we know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the journey of this book right here. So
wow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow, what a connection.
Yeah,
what a connection. So let's talk a little bit about forgiveness. Mm-hmm. That always comes up.
Yeah.
Times when we don't want to talk about forgiveness. Yeah. There are times much easier for us just to hold on and to resentments and anger but one thing about forgiveness is it takes action. It's not just spoken. There has to be some work that's done. So you mentioned leaving bitterness behind bars and embracing forgiveness as a key to moving forward. But I want you to share, how did you cultivate that sense of forgiveness, especially towards those who falsely accused you, but also forgiving yourself?
Yeah, with forgiveness is healing. Once you learn how to forgive, is it an easy road? No. Because I had to forgive people who didn't come see me, family members. I had to forgive them in the state where they were at. I had to forgive the police, the judge, and most of all, I had to forgive the person who had the charge who said I did it. In order to come out into society and be a productive citizen, I had to let the malice or the hate or the anger in my heart that I had, that I carried for the first 8 years of my bid. And I did 18 years. So to walk around for 8 years with plot and planning to hurt this person if you ever saw them. And it was that moment, one morning, and I woke up and I was like, I can't do this. Not if I'm going to go out here and make it. You have to forgive. You may not forget it because it's an ongoing thing. Like the title of my book is Freedom Really Free. It's an ongoing thing trying to get your freedom. But that's what I had to forgive in order for healing of myself.
Oh, that's so good. That is so good. I appreciate you sharing. And you started off strong when you said healing is a major part of forgiving. Forgiving is healing, and it is. It is. It's when we truly forgive, we are no longer thinking from a space in our hearts that resentment and it's stuck on disappointment and immobility. But being able to say, I'm not going to wait. I'm not giving you poison so you can die. I'm doing something different today. So that's good. For those of you that are just joining us, we are just excited because we have two special guests on today, Mr. Eugene Porter, and he has a passion for telling his story because he recognizes that it will provide resilience in triumph and miraculous things for the lives of others just by sharing his testimony. And we also have Natasha Williams, who has played a major role in promoting and encouraging with the publishing of that the new book that has come out. So we're going to take a brief pause, allow you to go back to the green room for a moment, and then when we come back, I want you to talk about the book. Okay, when we come back, I want you to really talk about the book, if that's okay. All right. So just a brief break in the green room. All right. We are so excited about all that's going on. Jack Lavelle Coaching and Consulting Group. And several of you have said, okay, so how can I get to connect with you, or what's going on? And so I always like to pull something up so you can see that by signing up for my email list, you'll receive valuable tips and strategies to help your life's journey. I'm always excited about connecting with people, meeting new people, whether it's in person or virtually. And so I encourage you, there is my website right there, jacklavelle.com. Reach out to me. I have some special little nuggets for you so that you can actually set up a time so that we can have a conversation about moving from the space where you are to the space where you're destined to be. I'm really excited about that. Okay. And I'm really excited about On the Porch. I just want to share with you that we do the On the Porch with Dr. Jackie on a regular basis, at least twice a month, the first and the third of the month. And I want you to know that you are always invited to be a part of being on the porch with me. And that is first and third Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's all about fostering community, fostering connection, and recognizing that there's something to be said, whether it's being shared from a professional or personal level. We welcome that opportunity to help transform lives. Okay. All right. We're going to get back with our special guests. Drop something in the comment section. You know, is this good? Is this fit? Are you flowing with it? Or you might even have a question for Mr. Porter or for Natasha. Maybe there's a book in you. You know, and that's another show. So I'm gonna bring Natasha on. Natasha, I think we might look at doing a show on is there a book in you?
Yeah.
How about that?
I believe there's a book inside of everybody. Okay.
I do too.
Oh yeah.
I believe, yeah. I mean, when we tell stories, when we share experiences,
Yes.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
book.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, speaking of the book, let's talk about the book. Who wants to go first, Jean or Natasha?
I will
Mm.
let him. I'm gonna let him do it.
Okay, all right. Well, Jean, tell us, tell us the book and how we can, there are persons that's popping on and they want to know, well, how can I get a copy? That
Uh,
you whet their appetite. They want to know a little more. You didn't tell everything.
yeah. Let me see right here.
So
So the title of the book is "Does Freedom Really Mean You're Free?" We have picked a couple of different titles, and the one that resonated. Well, it has like two titles in one. It's free. Does freedom really mean you're free? And from the prison to the palace. Um, the one that resonated was "Does freedom really mean you're free?" And the reason why, because I've gotten all my rights back except for my gun rights. And then I looked at life. Like we run around and saying that we're in a free country, we're free this and free that. But does freedom really mean that you're free? Because I'm out of prison, but I still have like I tell my when I go and speak and stuff, I talk about like finding Nemo. Like you poured out from this little aquarium up into the big ocean, you know. So are you really free? You can move around, but you still have this chain on you. For me, I still have the chain of being a felon, even being committed for a crime I didn't commit. And it's easy to get in prison, but it's hard to get out. So the burdens of I have to be nervous if I get pulled over by the police, because of what they pull up first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? He's convicted of murder, so they're gonna approach the car different. You know, certain places you can go, you can't go. If I'm in a car with you and you have the right to possess your gun, we get pulled over. I'm not supposed to be around a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
So does freedom really mean you're free?
Right. That's a great title. I think it's a great title. So how can our listeners get a copy? They want to read more about a story of hope and resilience and
Amazon. Right now, we do have on-hand copies if you're in a local area. But Amazon, we're on Amazon. We have an ebook on Amazon, and we have the paper book. And there's a lot of dedications in this book. The price is $19.99, and the 19.99 is the year that my god brother was killed. So when we were coming up with the price, and I told her like I wanted to be something. So the hard copies, the paperback copies, the hard copy may be a little bit more. We're looking at that, but the paperback copies are 19.99, and you
Mhm.
can go on Amazon. We've been up there. I've had I think like 20 orders from Amazon right now
Mm, that's
that
great.
we saw, and we've sold about probably close to now with 19 or 20 off of Amazon and the 40 that I sold on hand. So we had 60 in a week, a little over a week's time.
Because this just came out. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
At the time of the airing of this broadcast, it just came out. So
Yeah.
that's great. That's great. I see a lot of our guests are very excited about that. I see some hearts and some thumbs up. So that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. And if you have comments, please put them in the comments section. Yeah. But I'm excited for you for all the work that you've done to make this happen. And then Natasha, you've been instrumental in seeing the book that was in him.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
uh, Another author just popped on, author Shirley Hawkins.
Yes.
Hello. And
Yeah.
yeah, we know Shirley. We know
Yes.
author minister Shirley Hawkins. So
Yes.
thank you so much. Continue to allow your light to shine. The
Yeah.
best is yet to come.
Yeah.
Wow, what
Thank
great words of encouragement
Yes.
From one author to another. Thank you so much, Minister Shirley. Yes, appreciate you. Yes. Um, and so as we're wrapping up, because our time has moved on, has come and gone. In closing, so what's on the horizon? What's next? What's next?
We're hoping the doors. We have 3 other books. We have another book, a fictional book about my god brother that's coming out. We have part two to Is Freedom Really Free? And if you look in the first beginning of the book, when you get it, it's a poem in the book. I write poetry. So Natasha, she didn't know I could write poetry at first. And then like whatever I'm feeling, I would send her a poem about it. And she was like, what they say on the what was the Betty White or the Betty White song said we gotta do something with this. So that's what she told me. Like, we got to do something with these poems. So that's
Mhm.
in the horizon too. The poem book, the Life After Prison book, and Fallen Soldier, which would probably be. I wrote this one. Fallen Soldier, I wrote. So it's a lot of notebook paper that she's going through to turn it into a book.
Look, this was supposed to be a one and done deal. Like
Good.
I always tell him that. I was like, this supposed to be a one and done, but I'm just excited. And I tell him, I am just honored that I was able to, be chosen to help him push the vision of his books. I always tell him how proud I am of him. I think over the time, like a friendship has grown between me and him. And, I'm just excited about his future and what God has for him. And I'm just so glad to be a part of it. I am.
What a blessing. What a great gift you have, Natasha, in being able to not just promote something, but you did the research, so you were able to see in from an in-depth perspective
Yes.
what was inside of him. And so,
Yes.
we applaud you, because obviously that's a calling on your life. Author Shirley Hawkins says, I can see the writing on the handwriting on the wall. Look out. Yes, that's exactly right.
Thank you.
And as well as she says, she's so very proud of you. And I would imagine there's so many that are proud of you, because
Yes.
you have something to tell, and you're telling it, and it's
Yes.
touching the lives of so many. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to you, Mr. Eugene Porter, and to you, Miss Natasha Williams. Thank you for spending time on the porch with with Dr. Jackie, with me, yeah, with me. But know that you are the light, and someone is depending on you.
Yeah.
Somebody's depending on your light. So where darkness prevails, your light is essential.
Yes.
And I just want to say that to you, Jean, your light is essential. And then I want to say that to all of you who have joined in. And if you're joining in on the replay, put hashtag in the replay, because I appreciate you. But know that your light is essential for those dark places.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Natasha.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank
so
you.
much. Yes. All right. Thanks so much. We're so glad on the porch with Dr. Jackie. Glad that you've been a part. Don't forget now, your life matters, and so does your light. Leave the porch light on. Somebody's depending on you. Take care. Until next time.